looks like we will never know actually what happened during Jeffrey Epstein's alleged first suicide attempt that happened July 23rd, 2019 at the MCC, the Metropolitan Correctional Center in New York City. So, federal prosecutors released some information today about this, saying that the footage that supposedly was recorded of Epstein's cell at MCC was actually footage of a cell that was recorded on a different level of the MCC. So there's actually no footage that exists from Jeffrey Epstein's first alleged suicide attempt at the MCC. And here's even a kicker: there's supposed to be a backup video recording system, in case this first one mistakenly records a different floor, has some other type of error or whatnot taking place. But of course, the second backup system ran into some type of unspecified technical error. So of course, there is no backup. The first one was actually recording on a different level than where Jeffrey Epstein's cell was within the MCC. And I think you have to be a really, gullible or naive person to not think there's some shady or nefarious stuff going on behind the scenes, that it's just so convenient the night of his first alleged suicide that, the footage of what was supposed to be Epstein's cell was actually footage of a different cell of the MCC. Then, of course, oh, yeah, okay, so we, took the footage from a different level of the MCC, but yeah, we have this backup system. Oh, what do you know? There's actually some unspecified technical problems that came to this second video backup system that could have potentially showed what was going on in Epstein's cell during this first alleged suicide attempt. And obviously, it's been said 100 times or a million times before, or a billion, a lot of times at least, all of the powerful figures that Epstein was associated with and kept company of, people like the current president of the United States, Donald Trump, former president Bill Clinton, I think Prince Andrew of the United Kingdom, various senators, both past and present, governors within the United States, as well as all kinds of different leaders from around the globe. So obviously had some very, powerful enemies potentially, depending on, what those people thought Epstein might reveal for some type of, lenient sentence or plea bargain or whatnot. So obviously those people had a very vested interest making sure that the Epstein case did not reach trial, or did not least reach trial with Epstein being alive. So, I think, like I said, it'd be pretty naive to think that there wasn't some type of, shady stuff going on behind the scenes from all of these powerful figures that Epstein had come in contact with throughout his years, basically running this, child sex trafficking ring, the sex trafficking ring. And, any one of them or any combination of them could have made sure that this video, was recording on a different floor. And then, of course, they could have made it so these technical errors to this backup system were also taking place on that same night. And then, so his cellmate at the time, Nick Tartaglione, he was a former cop in New York State who's being charged, I believe, with 4 murder charges for killing people in this drug deal. And his defense team was really wanting to get this supposed footage of this first suicide attempt, because Tartaglione's defense is arguing that Tartaglione actually tried to help and save Epstein after this, alleged botched suicide attempt. But the Epstein side of the story was that Tartaglione attacked him. So, it's within the realm of possibility that one of those Epstein associates, whoever it may be, or a combination of them, was able to, make sure there was no video of this incident, and then potentially pay off Tartaglione to, basically to essentially murder Epstein in his cell and make it look like it was a suicide, because like I said, after this first alleged suicide attempt, Epstein was saying that he was being attacked. And then we saw, all of the stuff that happened with the second suicide attempt, the one that actually ended up killing Epstein, and all the shady and, really hard to believe stuff that surrounded that incident. And then now we know we will never see any type of video evidence of what happened during this first alleged suicide attempt. And I think it would be silly to think that, these are just a bunch of coincidences why we don't have this footage. I think there was some type of planned or coordinated effort to make sure that the public never had access to those videos, because, we could have potentially seen that Tartaglione was indeed trying to murder Epstein. And, if that wasn't the case, we will never know that either. But I think just the situation and how everything all came about, and now what we know about the original video recording a different floor, and then the backup system running into these unspecified technical errors and all these other things. I think there was some type of shady effort to make it look like a suicide, but Jeffrey Epstein was potentially just being murdered by Tartaglione, so he wouldn't be able to testify about all of these powerful people who flew on the Lolita Express and went to him in these various mansions that he has throughout the world, basically, and partook in having sex with children, basically. So obviously those people would not want that stuff to come to light, and I think that's probably what happened. But I would love to hear your thoughts down below. Do you think Jeffrey this footage didn't end up surfacing because these were just all mistakes by the MCC recording the different floor and then having these technical errors with the backup system? Were these all just coincidences and mistakes, or was there some type of planned and coordinated effort to make sure that Jeffrey Epstein never made it to trial and that he was end up murdered in jail? Love to hear your thoughts in the comment sections down below. And what type of videos do you prefer? Do you prefer ones like this where I'm just riffing and talking on the mic, or do you prefer when I'm on the lappy toppy and doing the breaking down articles or videos and doing a commentary that way? Any feedback would be much appreciated.